We're back for the second period, and Herb, I'm sure you saw quite a bit of Mr. Gretzky in the National Hockey League.
Oh, he was unbelievable. I had a few chances to talk to Wayne, but they talk about Wayne Gretzky, what makes him so good. He's just such a sincere, good, solid person, the type of person you like to see in professional athletics.
And we're ready to go here with the second period of play in a 1-0 game as Denfeld is out in front and moving it in the corner on the far boards. We begin the second period with both teams at equal strength. Terrell tried to move it in. It was cleared by Anderson up on the far boards, trying to move it up ice. Vucinic tried to come up with it. Whistle and play will be stopped. 14:42 remaining in the second period. The only goal of the game by Bill Stauber, his 12th of the year at 8:28 of the first period.
You know, Paul, I was remarking earlier about the intelligent play of Jerry Anderson. Just all the little things you notice. I started looking up on the little record here. He's #1 as graduating senior class president in a 4.0 GPA. It tells you something about him.
And it's moved up ice again by Apps. Apps in over the line with a shot. And it went up over the glass off the glove of Monticelli, out of play. And he had a total of 4 saves in the first period. Stauber with 10, and incidentally, Stauber coming into this period, holy smokes, he has a lot of saves. 87 so far. 87 saves so far in this tournament. The record is 124, set by Doug Long of Johnson back in 1971. Talk a little bit more about that when we have a little time here, and I know you know him, don't you, Herb?
Yeah, Dougie Long, I tell you, he was a fine goalkeeper. I remember the performance he put on in 1970. He was unbelievable. I don't know if there'll ever be another performance like that.
And it's played up ice now in a 1-0 game as Hibbing and Denfeld playing for 3rd place here in the 42nd annual Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. Hibbing centering it, and it comes out of the zone, and it goes all the way back in the Blue Jacket zone. You mentioned 1970 and Doug Long. He had 61 in 5 overtimes in that win over Coleraine. And he had 52 in a 3 overtime loss to Edina. Then he was pulled after 11 saves in the second period against Hibbing in a 4-1 loss in that 1970 tournament. 13:44 remaining here in the second period. And with it is Schwartz. Schwartz with the puck and whistle, and Monticelli started to go off. And with the score 1-0. This is Hockey 86 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
So, what'd you take last night?
You'll see.
Oh, a special on the Arctic Circle, huh? Great snow.
Hey, what's wrong with this VCR?
Well, maybe the heads are dirty. Here, try this head cleaner I bought.
Oh, scotch, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a tape.
Well, you use it like a tape.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
Is it done yet?
Just settle down. It'll tell us.
Hey, that's easy.
So, do you want to watch the movie now?
Now, let's see if it'll clean the refrigerator.
High sticking call against that young man right there, Scott Pearson. And it's power play hockey now for Hibbing. And they are 0 of 6 on their power play opportunities. Just inside the line with it is Terrell. Terrell with a drive, and it's kicked out by Stauber. And the rebound comes loose. Vucinic, and he banged it around the boards and cleared it out of the zone.
Now, Paul, when you talk about someone who's doing very well in school, Hibbing has 6 members of their team in the top 10% of their class.
And it's moved up ice now. And we have 13:10 remaining here in the second period. Vucinic trying to come up with the puck. Vucinic just across the line as Hibbing will work it up ice now with a man advantage. And in over the line as they try to set it up. There's his shot. It was partially deflected. Comes loose on the near wing, and with it is Rue. Rue with the puck tried to work it and went in on Stauber, and he covered up and he made the save. Those 6 that Herb mentioned a moment ago are Monticelli, the goalie, along with Waters, Gostad, Sullivan, Cal Huseman, and Schwartz.
You know, that Monticelli, as you were saying before, that's really a dynamic name. Monticelli. This sounds like a wine, doesn't it? Monticelli wine.
Well, he's a pretty good goaltender, too, and goals against average of under 4. There's a drive, and Stauber knocked it down, and the rebound is set up. We still have 1 minute remaining on the man advantage for Hibbing as they go back to set it up to try and break it out of their own zone. And moving it up ice in a hurry, that is Wallers. Wallers in over the line. Wallers in the corner on the near boards. Trying to get some help from Terrell. Turning, trying to bring it out is Anderson. Anderson looking for help, and play continuing now. Back of the net as Stauber knocked it down. Played it on the far side, and Denfeld does clear it out of their own zone.
Great penalty killing by Timmy Sisto and Chris Apps. Two smaller type hockey players, but great legs and really persistent.
And the puck comes loose just inside the line. We have 16 seconds remaining on a man advantage, and it's clear back up ice. We have a 1-0 score as Denfeld is out in front. Hibbing has come back and won 9 games in which they have trailed by 1 goal. And it's set up with it is Terrell, and he moves it out to center ice. Both teams at full strength, and it's played back by Eliasson in the Hibbing zone as Steve Terrell back over to set it up. Terrell in the corner trying to get some help from Huseman to work it out of the zone. Huseman kicking it ahead, knocked down, and trying to pick it up. It slides to Eliasson, and he played it back to the Blue Jackets blue line. And Denfeld will send it up. The Hunters leading it 1-0 here as it's driven down in the Hibbing zone. Two-man forecheck trying to hold the zone, but Rue backhands it out to the center zone. Monticelli knocks it down, is coming over to pick it up now, trying to break it out of the zone. Pascuzzi is out. That is number 15, Pascuzzi, with the puck. And he played it in to the left side of Stauber, but that will cause an icing. And with the score 1-0, this is Hockey 86 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
In April 1986, the Minnesota institution will become part of a celebrated American tradition. TCF is going public. TCF depositors will have the first opportunity to buy stocks. Full details will be sent by mail. You have made TCF Minnesota's largest consumer banking institution. It's only right that you should own a part of it. TCF, where Minnesota banks.
Face-off coming up to the right side of Monticelli with 10:49 remaining in the second period. 1-0 the score here as Denfeld is out in front. The goal at the 8:28 mark of the first period by Stauber. And it's driven in on his brother Rob Stauber. And Stauber with the puck, a little tentative there as he decided to clear it. And it comes up ice as Vucinic in the neutral zone was beaten to the puck by Gaustad. And it's loose now as Hibbing trying to set it up. Sundvall has the puck to the point on the left side, driven toward the net by Gaustad. Sundvall, Kasner, and Sanborn are out. And it's played back of the cage. It comes around over to Anderson. Anderson turning, trying to bring it out of the zone. Anderson goes cross ice to Sisto. Sisto moving it up ice, intended for Vucinic. Vucinic trying to play it away there from Stavnes. And it was held in at the point, and Anderson with a drive. Nice body block there by Sundvall. And the puck comes loose, and here's a 2-on-1. Terrell moving it up ice. Terrell in over the line, and his drive is kicked away by Stauber as breaking to the net was Sanborn. And he made a good save there, Herb.
Yes, he did. He stayed with it. He's just a fine goalkeeper. I'm very impressed with his patience and poise. I think last night, though, he got running around a little bit, charging some shooters when he probably shouldn't have. But you can see he's got the innate athletic ability in there. And just with the normal maturity and the coaching that goes with that specialized position, he's got a fine future ahead of him.
We have the face-off coming up back in the Denfeld zone. First trip for the Hunters of Denfeld High School. And it's centered toward the net, and it was cleared out on the near boards by Ingen. Ingen moving it up ice along with Huffman and Apps, his line mates. And the puck is loose down to the corner. We have both teams here at full strength as Hibbing will try to work it out of their own zone. Only one penalty in the period, and that was called against Pearson. As Hibbing trying to set it up now. Back in behind goes Sullivan. Worked away from him by Chris Apps, and he turns and he brings it out to center ice, picked up by Terrell. They'll regroup in the neutral zone with Sullivan trying to go back to Terrell, and it's played to the blue line of the Blue Jackets. Broken up there And coming in over the line, Hardy off, and his pass to Terrell deflected. Sullivan whipped it around the boards. Both teams here at full strength. 8:49 remaining in the second period. In a low-scoring affair here for third place in this year's tournament on the line here.
You know,
That'd
Paul,
be nice for Denfeld to take home, wouldn't it, Herb?
As Paul, one thing that Hibbing's going to have to do, they're going to have to change lines a little faster. They're coming off a real tough loss last night, which was a skating game, a hitting game. Their forwards are staying out too darn long, and they're just not as effective as they could be if they start a little faster change, get a little better rhythm, and use all their people on their bench a little more effectively. Too long of shifts for the trail line, rule line, trail line. They could get more people involved, get a little more tempo, and, you know, because they've got the legs to do it. Their defensive core is not an asset as far as their speed, but they're functional in the sense that they know their limitations, and it's apparent, and they get the puck up ice, and they hurry up to the offensive line and react to, you know, the forechecking patterns. But forwards, they're staying out way too long, and they're just not going to penetrate that sagging Duluth defense unless they just have that little more of a rhythm, as I was mentioning.
And it's set up at center ice. Coming over is Huseman. And Hibbing will back it up in their own zone to regroup to Schwartz. Schwartz coming in over the line on the pass to Terrell, and an offside is going to be whistled at the blue line. There's a break in the action, and we'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
If the cost of heating your home seems like you're heating an ice rink, you better call an independent Lennox dealer for a free heating estimate. Call Lowell Anderson at Kronstrom's.
7 minutes and 54 seconds as you see Bill Olson there looking on. 84-12-2 in his career coming out of Section 7. And it's set up now at the blue line. With it is Anderson. Anderson trying to work it ahead to Francisco. Hibbing back in over the line. Terrell with a drive off the glass. Rebound to Schwartz. He was tied up in traffic. Zabodnik with a backhander, and that was cleared. And it's played back now to the Blue Jackets blue line, and coming back over is Huseman to set it up. We have 7:29 remaining here in the second period as Schwartz will work it out of his own zone. And it's played back in over the blue line by Jerry Anderson. 16 points on the year. And coming back over is Huseman with help, trying to set it up right out in front. Backhander, and it's knocked down as Monticelli made 2 saves in traffic. And there's a drive by Eliasson from the point. Held in by Pearson. Looked like he switched hands and took a shot there. Good pressure at the other end, Herb.
Yes, he might have switched hands. I don't know if he got a high stick, or he got playing the puck over his shoulders with a stick, or it's a high stick and call, you know, on the goalkeeper. I'm not sure what the ref has got. I think he's got a high stick and penalty on a Hibbing player down around the goal. We'll see what he's calling right now. He's got somebody he's trying to say, come on, let's go.
You can't get away with that. You never tried to do that when you were coaching, did you?
30, the goaltender for a high stick.
Tried everything you could try to get away with.
As Monticelli gets the high stick call. And somebody has to serve that penalty. As we get a look on replay again at what happened.
Geez, everybody's going for the darn puck. You just don't go for the puck. You start clearing out bodies. You take care of the body, and the puck is going to be all right. Leave the puck for the goalkeeper. Everybody's fishing for a puck and reacting on a puck. Take the body. That's Bloody Nose Alley in front of the net. And then you got to make people pay for that part of the ice.
Denfeld is 0 of 2 on their power play opportunities. As they go to Pearson on the pass, they go to Vucinic with a shot, and Monticelli kicked it out. And the rebound is backhanded out of the zone by Doug Terrell. There you see the time remaining in the second period in a 1-0 game. And the man advantage now as Hibbing's Monticelli took a penalty. High stick, and it's picked up, moving it in over the line. There's a drive, and it was knocked down. Waters with it. And Stauber looks real sharp here.
Yes, he does. Did you see how he stepped out and cut that angle off? He knew the guy couldn't come across because he had a defenseman there, and he wasn't giving up an inch.
Hardy trying to work it loose and bring it out of his own zone. Does to center ice. Broken up by Anderson as Denfeld will regroup now. They have the lead and a power play situation for the next 57 seconds. And Apps tried to center it to the net. It comes back to Pearson. Here's Pearson with it at the point. Denfeld with the man advantage, and a drive is deflected. It goes all the way across ice. And it's set up just inside the line to Pearson with a drive, and the save by Monticelli as he tucked it away in the glove.
And he had a good look at the puck. There was not a real hard save. I don't want to take anything away from Jimmy Monticelli, but his defensive core put people out of there. They established himself, wouldn't let anybody get tipped in screening, so he had the sight line, and that's what he wants.
Herb, at the high school level, how many variations of a power play should you have?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you should get into, you know, it's an old teaching principle. It's called KISS. K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid. And the stupid one is the coach. So don't get too complicated. Don't overcoach. Get a good solid formation, a system, a theory, and just practice it and practice and practice. And you're going to be relatively successful.
That's Ingen with the puck. Ingen with a drive, and Monticelli kicked it out on the nice save. And they try to set it up. They've got Apps moving to the net. Vucinic will back it out to center ice to set it up. And we're down now to 20 seconds remaining in a man advantage. Vucinic in over the line. Taken away by Huseman. Back out at center ice is Ingen. Ingen with the puck now. Ingen carries it in over the line. Ingen picks up his own pass off the boards. Will go to Vucinic. And his drive goes high in the air toward the slot. And it's gloved and played on the far wing. And back at full strength now as Monticelli's penalty time is over. Backhander was taken by Apps, and the save was made. Played back of the net with that time remaining in the period. Going back over, Huseman trying to work it out of the zone. It's picked up Huseman on the far side, trying to get some help from Rue. And it's held in at the point. A shot taken there went wide. And Denfeld trying to hold the zone, but it's picked up by Girardi on the lead. And Stauber comes way out. And he ran into Kastner, who went down, who was trying to pick up the breakaway.
I don't know if I'd like to see a goalie going out on top of the circles and hook sliding or something, or decking his pads. But he sure came up smelling like a rose like that. But we might get a good look at this thing again. He's coming way out. He sees the Hibbing player interfered with by one of his defensemen. So he figures, well, all right, now what happens? Everybody's in the ice. What if a Hibbing player jumps in and it's a wide open goal? All he has to do is cut off the angle and let everything come to itself. He doesn't have to be running around like that. He's got enough ability the way it is without running all over. Might have to put a rope on him and tie him to one of the goalposts.
In the corner, it's Pascuzzi trying to pick it up. Monticelli knocking it down. And it was cleared as Denfeld tries to hold the zone. Played in the corner. Both teams at equal strength as Francisco was breaking to the net but couldn't get the pass. Zabachnik with it on the lead. Moving it up ice. This is Terrell, 1 against 2 against Eliasson and Pearson. And Pearson took it away and he dumped it back down in the zone of Hibbing as the Blue Jackets go back. Shot. Oh, nice tip in front of the net. Good effort there. A lot of hustle, Herb, on the part of Denfeld trying to keep the zone. Going back of the cage. Moss with it.
Denfeld's getting a little stronger as the game wears on. They're starting to get their legs a little bit, or starting to open up. They don't want to sit on that one goal, and they're trying a little bit more of an offensive thrust right now, which is something they have to do.
Denfeld leads it by that slim margin of 1-0. There's a drive by Eliasson wide to Vucinic, and he tried to move it toward the net, and it was taken away by Wallers and then re-intercepted at center ice. Eliasson with it. There's Eliasson playing it in over the blue line. That's broken up, and Hibbing decides to clear the zone. And they'll have an icing call. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back for the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Ed McMahon and Ann Gillian reach for the stars on an all-new season of the $1.5 million Star Search 86.
Saturday, late night on Channel 4.
You know, Paul, this is the third game here for these youngsters. 3 days, plus a little travel coming from the north, plus just maybe the strange bed and not sleeping the way you should. I'd shorten up all the line changes, try to pick up the rhythm a little bit, use my full bench the best I could, look for certain matchups, know their personnel so I don't get burnt out there, try to find maybe my best defenseman behind, maybe a line that I haven't used too much, give my people a little breather. But right now it's bogged down just a little bit. I don't mean to, you know, be overly critical, but I'm just trying to think that to take advantage and play the overall situation. Again, it's tough on these youngsters, and it's a physical route they had to go through to get to the state tournament, and it's been a physical state tournament on top of that. But you see a lot of people just hanging on a little bit. Start saying shorter shifts, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, get off. Develop that quick rhythm.
See if they make that adjustment here. 3:02 remaining in the second period. It's still 1-0 Denfeld, as Stauber got the only goal of the game at the 8:28 mark of the first period. And it comes back, and it's going to be set up now by Hardy, and he plays it to center ice. Broke it up, and coming back over to set it up now. Hardy trying to pick it up. Carried it in over the line with help, and it's loose in the corner. We have 2:39 remaining. As going Terrell back to the net, trying to set something up. Terrell goes back to the point, and a shot is taken by Stavnes, who broke his stick. Hardy back to set it up. Stavnes playing without a stick. Sisto in over the line, but an offside was called. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Tony's, the pizza to fall in love with.
2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining, second period.
You know, down the end of the period, 1-goal hockey game, you want to say, well, I want to finish now my last 2 shifts with my best athletes out there. So all the things at 5 minutes and under, you should try to time your line changes so you can finish the way you want. You don't have to be concerned if you happen to be ahead, but in a tight game, both clubs have to be watching what line's going to finish, what's the time of the period, and play the clock and play all those little things to either get the tying goal or keep that 1 goal ahead, or maybe open it up to a 2-goal gap.
Gaustad on the pass to Rowe, back to Gaustad, and he fired it wide. Usman with the puck. It comes out to Girardi at center ice, and we have 1:50 remaining in the second period. It's 1-0. Denfeld is out in front here, and picked up, trying to go up ice with it, was Engen. Whistle, and it was flipped up over the boards and out of play.
A little shorter line change right there. Minute 41, keeping fresh going into that period now, at the end of the period.
Hibbing has won a couple of state championships back in '52 and in 1973. They have been here a number of times, their 9th trip. Besides those two, 57, 70, 74, 82, 84, 85, and of course here in 86.
And Paul, we talk about the young hockey players in this tournament. There's 2 outstanding youngsters here, juniors. Mike Vukovic, the fine center iceman of Duluth, and Dougie Torrell, an exceptional sophomore from Hibbing. Two center icemen, strong kids, 6'2", 6'3", a couple hundred pounds. Going to be excellent hockey players in the future.
And back of the net goes Pascuzzi to pick it up. Pascuzzi to Zabachnik, out to center ice to Terrell. Tried to go right wing to Schwartz, and it's played back down in the corner. Angled on the near side to Anderson. Anderson around on the far boards again to DeChambeau. DeChambeau looks to clear it up ice. San Francisco on the right side. 1 minute remaining here in the second period. And we still have a 1-0 game. No goals here in the second period. And it's played back down in the corner. As striding back goes Mike Johnson to set it up. Johnson back of the net with Pascuzzi to work it loose. That is Pascuzzi around the boards to Zabachnik. Zabachnik now back in behind to Pascuzzi again. 35 seconds, popped up right out in front. Vukovic tried to take a shot, blocked, knocked down, and Monticelli with the save. A little careless there, Herb.
Careless, dead tired.
And moving it up ice here, it's Waller's moving it in, and coming out is Stauber, and he gathered it in and stopped the play.
He's lucky again. It's not a good percentage play that he's diving out, coming out, diving, sprawling on loose pucks. Let's see this again. He's lucky. This kid let that puck slides under him, or he can pull it. Going for the poke check, tripped the player up. And look at that wide open net. If someone else is jumping in those little holes, I'd say, Robbie, use your ability, know your angles, cut off the angle, stand on your feet. Maybe send him down to the Twins and have him work with the baseball team. His hook sliding. He's been doing this for the whole period. And mind you, I like the boy.
There's a penalty on Stauber. So the goalies have taken the last 2 penalties here in the game. And let's see, we have 0 of 6 in the power play now.
That's a questionable call on that situation. It looked like he tried to get the poke check, and he just missed the puck and tripped him up. But I don't know about that call. That's awful, awful tight interpretation.
You never argued calls, did you?
All the time. Never won any, but I argued a lot.
Got to look at the replay there and let you make your own judgment as to whether that was a penalty or not.
We see number 19 going off, Steve Terrell. He was out there at the 2-minute mark, and now he's just coming off. And it's tough to lose him now because he's such a good hockey player, and you need him on that power play. But he had chances to get off the ice early, and just standing out there. Right before this Duluth, Hibbing had the break there. There was a 3-on-2 sitting in front of their own net because their forwards can't even come back and help out.
And we're down to 12 seconds remaining here in the second period. Somebody just threw something out on the ice. Please don't do that if you're coming to the Civic Center. And it goes back to the net now to Wallers. Wallers with the puck, and we've come to the end of the second period of play, and the scoring hasn't changed from the summary of the first period. And that's when Stauber got his 12th goal of the year, and one assist was given to Sisto on the goal. And for him, it was his 14th of the year. And that's where we stand now after 2, Herb.
Yes, I'm a little surprised. Nothing against Duluth, because they're a fine hockey club, and they've played well in this tournament. But I just felt that, Hibbing might have had a little more depth up front, had more offensive firepower. My question was basically how long Stauber could hold them in there. But I've been wrong, because Duluth is doing a fine job without the puck. However, they are sagging in their defensive zone. And if Hibbing a little quicker changes, move the puck around, use their points, I think the momentum would turn, and they would get some higher percentage scoring chances.
Let's go back to Sports Control.
Well, Herb, before the game, I was talking with the Hibbing coach, Bill Olson. He said it's really tough to play a finesse game now here in the state tournament. Hibbing has had two tough physical games, of course, against Bemidji and then yesterday against Hill Murray, and you wonder how much that's taken out of their club today. They like to play a very aggressive offensive style.
Well, it was a combination of a hitting and a skating game last night against Hill Murray, and they just had to go to bed late, a little disappointed, toss and turn all night, a little bit down, get up, loosen up, and get back into the game today. It is a hard thing.
Okay, thanks much, Herb. It's still 1-0 Duluth. Denfeld, of course, they led Burnsville 1-0 yesterday afternoon after 2 periods.
That's right. This is Hockey 86, continuing coverage of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
How many Chevys we got?
Too many.
How many?
10,000. Gotta have a sale.
We've got to have a sale.
Big sale.
A big sale.
A really big sale.
A really big sale.
You're the boss.
The Twin Cities Chevy dealers overstock sale. With 10,000 new Chevys on our hands, the only thing on our mind is to make you a deal.
When you open an IRA at most banks, your money just seems to sit there. But at TCF, your IRA will be a little more active. Because TCF's paying interest at a bonus rate of 20% until April 15th on all new IRAs. And that 20% rate can make a big difference. So why settle for less? Open a 20% bonus rate IRA at TCF. It's one IRA that'll really bring home the bacon. TCF, for Minnesota banks.
Imagine, NSP has tapped an energy source where impulses ride microcircuits at 200 miles per hour. This energy source is so flexible, it adapts to a volley of images. So sensitive, it responds to sounds of 1 decibel. This energy source is the creative energy of NSP's people, working to keep your energy costs as low as humanly possible. Creative energy, NSP.
Our score after 2 periods of our third-place title game, Duluth Denfeld 1, Hibbing nothing. No goals in that period, but some great goaltending on both ends. Late in the period, a penalty called on Rob Stauber when he came out to stop a breakaway there. Rob was outstanding, and the same can be said of Jim Monticelli, who did a great job on the other end.
May have been a little bit of a marginal call there, but Hibbing does have the advantage. And now we have Tony Parker, who has explored virtually every inch of the St. Paul Civic Center in the last couple of days. More cheerleaders. Tony, where are you?
We continue our exploration, and do you blame us? You are looking at the Hibbing cheerleaders. They are here on their skates with their guards. Let's find out who they are. Let's start out here.
I'm Mary McHale. I'm a senior in high school.
Okay, and this is?
Nancy Senevic. I'm a senior.
Forgive me for covering you with a shadow, yes?
Brittany Morris, a senior.
They've got voices like mine, gang. Isn't that great? How about you?
Stacy Mackey, a junior.
You're not in such good shape. Anybody got a good voice here?
Kathy Anderson, a junior.
Kathy, very good. Give me an A. What's your name?
Okay, Chris Radovich, I'm a junior.
You sound pretty good, too. Now, we're going to award the trophy for the championship as far as cheerleaders tonight in the 7 o'clock program. Let me ask you what you did for your in the contest.
We just had to have 2 chairs, a floor chair, and we had to have another floor chair that ended in a mound. And we practiced during school, and then we practiced on the ice.
Okay, Kevin McHale, of course, is the brother here. I want to ask you one question. What's your favorite sport?
Hockey.
Mine, too. Do you believe that? And here's why, gang. Okay?
Right, Tony, you know, of course, Kevin McHale actually started out in a hockey career until it grew a little bit.
He got into the right sport.
He's doing pretty well with the Boston Celtics right now. Speaking of basketball, we do have a few scores to keep you up to date with. In the game for the Big Ten basketball championship at the half, Michigan well on its way to winning the Big Ten title because they lead the Indiana Hoosiers 44-25. That game is in Ann Arbor. Michigan 44, Indiana 25. Meanwhile, at Williams Arena today, Illinois has defeated the Minnesota Gophers. That score was 73-64 over Minnesota. The Minnesota North Stars trail the Winnipeg Jets at the Met Sports Center right now. That score is 3-2 in the 3rd period. And the Minnesota Gopher hockey team is just starting, or as we speak, against Wisconsin in the WCHA semifinals. We'll keep you up to date as that game progresses.
Busy.
Yes, indeed. Live from the St. Paul Civic Center, this is continuing action of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.